Okay, so another Zach Wilson film study, just going over some of the stuff that I find interesting about him, just a few little nuggets. I want to start off with this one. And again, I should mention, just so you guys know, I have made a more in-depth film study about Zach Wilson as a player. So if you want to get all the ins and outs of him as a player, I recommend checking out that one. Just search Zach Wilson, Jackson Kruger Sports. I'm sure it'll come up. But this is more of just a few nuggets of some other stuff that I have noticed in watching more film about him. So on this play, it's going to be zone coverage. The way it looks right now, it looks like the curl route that you see on the screen. There's going to be someone underneath it, but that's not really how it's going to work out, just given, they're at the hash marks on the top of the screen. It's all the way towards, the numbers on the bottom of the screen. So just so you know, it's basically just going to be a one-on-one matchup with the corner and the receiver. And as you see, Wilson fakes a handoff. And what I love about this is watch how Wilson on the run is going to just be able to make that throw so quickly. I mean, that's what's amazing about Zach Wilson. It really is yes, he throws on the run, but I feel like his arm strength is highly underrated. And there's something about it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like his, arm is as strong as it actually is. And I don't know exactly how to describe this. It just doesn't feel like it has the same pop as someone like Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence, but it really does. I mean, it's getting there at about the same time. So it doesn't look as good, as strong as it is, but trust me, it's strong. And the fact that he can do it off balance, again, it's been talked to death, but just one of the many examples you can come up with. Seriously, watch any Zach Wilson game. You'll see a couple of those where you're just like, that's no one else in the draft can do that. Like, they just can't, because he's that good. There's something like this. It's a small thing. It is, but it's something that I do look for, especially, going into the NFL. A lot of times rookies struggle with in college, you can be a one-read quarterback. I mean, how many quarterbacks have we heard that criticism about going into the NFL? We've heard it about Justin Fields, about Trevor Lawrence, about Mac Jones. You don't hear it so much about Wilson, though. And Wilson he does do a good job at getting to that second read, and this is an example of it. So since there's a play action with a receiver running over the middle, that is kind of the main area that Wilson, I would say, could potentially look towards. But there's another option. If this is man coverage, which it is, then you could look towards the go route all the way towards the top of the screen. And since Zach Wilson can kind of see, okay, man coverage, he's going to actually look towards the go route first and then look towards the route over the middle. So go route is the first route he wants to look towards. And right when this play starts, you're going to notice that that's what he's doing. He looks there, and he could make this throw. I mean, there's a chance it could work, but there's not really any separation right now. And again, depending on the matchup, what he likes more, he can easily just let him go. I can understand that. So then he just gets over to the next read, and then he's patient enough to wait until it gets open, because there was a player over in the middle covering that area. So he was aware enough, he's smart enough to make that play. Now again, the defenses you see in college are not the defenses you see in the NFL. They're very much dumbed down for college because you got younger players. You don't want people to get too confused. In the NFL, you have guys who have been playing football for 10 years as an adult, which is just, it's different. It just is, you learn more, you're better at that kind of stuff. So having that experience, you can then run creative defenses, which you don't see in college as much. But still, I always stand by, yes, it's a different game, but you're more likely to be good at those kind of things in the NFL if you were good at them in college, and Wilson is. Another play that's sort of a highlight reel level play. I can't not show these highlight reel level plays with Wilson. I just can't. There's so many that I just go, oh my God, how do you make that play? He's a joy to watch. He really is. I highly recommend, if you haven't gone out and watched tape of him, watch some tape. Do yourself a favor. Watch a highlight reel. It's fun that way. So what's going to happen here is it's zone coverage. You have a receiver who's going to run but then go over the middle. He's kind of trying to take away the corner, because then you have the halfback who first is going to be a play action, but then he's going to run out and try to get in that area, and it's going to work. Like as you see, so Wilson does fake the handoff, and at this point, it's open. A linebacker reads it. He's trying to keep up, but that's tough. This is open. However, Wilson is under pressure. But watch him off balance in such a weird angle make that throw. And it's a bit far. I mean, admittedly, a bit far, but I'm fine with that. I'd rather you throw it too far than not far enough. And I mean, again, that's incredibly nitpicky when you factor on just the weird angle he had to make that throw. I mean, again, it's like a shortstop who can make those types of throws, except even a shortstop isn't going to be that accurate. Like, you're going to have a little bit high and low and stuff, and that's with a baseball. So Zach Wilson is just incredible with this kind of stuff. And it just, again, how much will that impact the game? I don't know, but it should impact the game somewhat. And at the very least, you could see sort of a Justin Herbert situation where the Jets' offensive line isn't the best, but since Wilson can still make stuff happen, it'll make it not as big of a deal. One more play. This is probably one of the only real criticisms I have with Wilson. There's not a lot to criticize, you know. Him and Lawrence, it is kind of like what do you like? How do you decide between these two guys? You basically just have to decide what you like more about the specific players. What do you value more? Because they're both so perfect. Wilson is like just incredible. This is an example where it's going to be man coverage. You see the route he's going to throw to. This is maybe like it's a slight criticism. This is as slight of a critique as you could probably give to a player. It really is. So watch how right when this play starts, it's again another play action, and you're gonna see that there is about to be an opening right here. And the critique I have is I would like to see him maybe lead his receivers a little bit more. Throw it a little bit further. That's something he might have to learn in the NFL. Instead of throwing it to your receiver, overthrow the cornerback, right? Throw it to where the defender isn't going to get there and hope that your receiver does get there, right? Like you definitely see, I think you saw Tom Brady do that a good amount last year in Tampa, where he was, he had faith in his receivers, so he's going to let his receivers do the work for him and just overthrow the defensive back. Know where the defensive back is, overthrow him, your receiver will probably get there. So that's something I could maybe criticize with Wilson. Like as you see, kind of, punts it, pushes it in there, and again, the arm strength there, insane, absolutely incredible. I still stand by like his arm strength. When you factor in how quick his motion is, someone like Fields has a little bit better arm strength, I would say, but his motion is so much longer. Wilson's is so much more compact, and he gets it there in an instant. It's just such a joy to watch. But yeah, I mean, it could have been a little bit further, I would say, maybe lob it up a little bit more. That's the one slight critique I have with him, and it is a slight critique, absolutely, but at the same time, I mean, think about what we're talking about. I'm literally saying on this play, here's a criticism I have with Zach Wilson. This 35-yard touchdown could have been done slightly better. Like, that's what we're doing. It's that levels of nitpicky with Zach Wilson because he's incredible. He really is. He's the best prospect I've ever seen. And I've only been doing this for like 3 or 4 years, so it's not saying too much, but he's the best I've ever seen. He's on that level. But yeah, just one of these videos. I enjoy making these kind of sort of, just a few things, nothing in particular. They're kind of all over the place, but they're still sort of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, you guys know me. I will gladly talk about Zach Wilson for as long as you'll listen to me because I think he's such a joy to watch in college, and I hope it works out in the NFL. I hope there isn't some small thing that we all overlook that ends up meaning he's a bust because, again, I watch his tape and the more I watch, the more I'm impressed. And maybe it's one of those things where I watch it and I like it, and so then I have a positive opinion, and then I, overlook negatives and only look at positives. But I feel like I'm being pretty objective, and there's not a ton to criticize in my opinion. But maybe you guys disagree. Let me know in the comments below if you do. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.